Hi everyone. Aha, there we go. Hi everyone, welcome to another Kanikapila Monday live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead. It feels like ages. I know it's like we've only missed a week, but it feels like ages since I was here. So I hope you're all doing well. We're going to have an extra special treat tonight because we've got an Elvis special. So any fans of the King, you're going to have loads of fun tonight. And we've also got one of the most beautiful and saddest love songs ever written, I think. If You Could Read My Mind by Gordon Lightfoot. And I was practicing it earlier, and I'm not kidding, I had a tear in my eye. It's such a sad song, isn't it? But absolutely beautiful. So we'll be doing that later. That was our people's choice. Let's see how you're all doing. I hope you've had a good week of it. So hot and humid in Austin, Texas. Nice. It was like boiling hot here yesterday, and it kind of felt I was determined that the summer had arrived, but it's gone a bit cloudy and rubbish today. But typical British summertime. Hopefully it's getting it all out of its system. So by the time we get to the retreat and the festival, it's going to be nice and sunshiny and lovely. That's the plan anyway. So hopefully that will work. Hope you're all doing well. Fantastic. Talking of the summer, I don't know if anyone saw, but I launched my new challenges today. So I'll talk about this a little bit more on a break, but I'm going to have challenges every couple of weeks where I'm going to challenge you to perform a song or a little ditty or a piece of music to do with a theme or a technique. And this week, the reason I mention it is I went for a sunshine theme because when I came up with the idea, it was boiling hot. All the details are on the website. Hi, John. Hi, Esther. Fancy seeing you in England, Esther. The winners of my challenge each week are going to have these really groovy badges. So there we go. There's one that says, Matt thinks I'm amazing. I think the light's stopping it showing on there. I'll show you. Hang on. Let me bring in my other camera. That should work. Let me do this one. Yeah. Aha. That's it. So there we go. There's one. Matt says I'm amazing. So the winner each time will get one of these. There's a uke equals happiness badge and an easy peasy lemon squeezy badge and all sorts of goodies. So I'll show you all those later. So that's going to be our fortnightly challenges, and anyone can take part. You can post your entries on the Facebook site or the website on the forum as well. So going to be loads of fun. Okay, so let's bring up a little bit of Elvis, and I have to say, Esther's really gone to town with the front sheet of our Kanikapila sheets this week. Did everyone see them? Did everyone notice? There we go. How flingy is that? I've even got the quiff. See, now I've let my hair grow out, so I can't do my Elvis quiff anymore, but isn't that cool? I'm not sure Elvis ever had a beard though, did he? I don't know. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. You've outdone yourself there, Esther. It made me giggle. So, okay. Oh, hi, Karen. Hi, guys. Brilliant. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. Good to see you. So what I'll do is I'll just crack on with our first song and then we'll pause afterwards and we'll see if anyone else has popped in to say hello. Remember, if you want to join in on the comments, just make sure you've got live chat enabled on YouTube, and then you can chat along and have lots of fun. Don't feel afraid to ask questions. Any questions with anything tonight, or to be honest, anything ukulele related, I'm here to help. So just give me a shout if you get stuck with anything and I'll explain it to the best of my ability. And if I can't explain it, I'll be honest and tell you where to go to look for the answer. So here's our first song. We're going to do Blue Hawaii by Elvis. I had to do it, right? It's kind of like that classic Elvis ukulele track, right? Well, I learned something new today, which was really, really interesting. And when I was looking up some information for the song, I always presumed that Blue Hawaii was written for Elvis's musical Blue Hawaii. But it turns out it was actually written in 1937. I'm looking at my sheets because I can never remember how to pronounce names. By Leo Robin and Ralph Ranger. and it was actually written for the film Waikiki Wedding, which starred Bing Crosby and Shirley Ross. So there you go, it actually dates to 1937, and of course Elvis made it incredibly famous when he included it as, I was going to say the main song on Blue Hawaii, but there's also Can't Help Falling in Love, isn't there, which is a massive, massive single. So yeah, so kind of interesting, that bit of an older song than I realised. Now remember with Kanikapila we give our chords Nashville numbers. That just means we number them 1 through to 7 in a key. So this one's in the key of C, so C is 1, and notice we have a really common chord progression right up here from the start. We've got C, the 1 chord, setting our scene. Then we go to F, C, D, E, F, which is the 4 chord, which introduces a sense of change. And that's one, oh hi Andrani, that's one of the most common changes that happens in all of music, just to create a sense of change. Then the other kind of chords progression here, which is really common, is we have a backwards round the circle of fifths chord progression. And hopefully some of you that have been doing Kanikapila for a while, you're starting to spot these. You can normally spot them because they're lots of 7th chords, one after another. And the way it works is that A7 is 5 above D7, and chords that are 5 above another one, they really want to resolve to it. So A7 wants to resolve to D7, D7 wants to resolve to G7, and G7 wants to resolve to C. So you get this backwards around the circle of fifths motion, we call it. And that happens again in miniature at the end of the 2nd line. Remember, each of those boxes is a measure or 4 beats, and unless I say otherwise, we're just going to play in common time, which just means a simple 4 beats per measure. Later on, we're going to have a go at Suspicious Minds, which is probably my favourite Elvis song of all time, and that features it starts in 4/4 time, and then in a bridge it goes to 6/8 time, and then back to 4/4 time. So we're going to have loads of fun with that. It's going to be really, really quite different, that one, which is going to be great. This one's nice and easy in 4/4 time. In terms of the strum pattern, you can do what you want really, as long as you're playing along in 4/4 time. But I'm going to do a really simple island strum, seeing as it's a kind of Hawaiian song or Hawaiian influenced. Hi Pam, no worries, you haven't missed much. Don't worry, we're still on the first one, look. So that means for the island strum, we're just going to do a down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. I like to think phonetically, as you guys know, so I would think of that as walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 walk, running, running, running. Okay? So, for instance, the first few measures, I would do that on a C, and an F, back to C, A7. This D7, you can do it 2 ways. You can either go full on bar, which I actually really like, but as we're in Hawaii, right, you could do the Hawaiian D7, which is just 2 fingers like this. If you are going to do that, try using your 2nd and 3rd fingers, because then you can drop them down really comfortably here to the G7 and then C. Alright, so that makes it nice and simple. So the start of that song, I'll stay in on close cam so you can follow my fingers. Night and new and blue Hawaii, A7. The night is heavenly, and you are heaven to me. Now the next bit, hi Norma, really good to see you on here. So next bit, we've got 2 chords in a measure. Now, whenever we've got 2 chords in a measure, we can just think of them as half a measure each or 2 beats each, right? Now, the easiest thing to do on those, you can either keep your strum pattern going or just strum down twice on D7, twice on G7, as simple as that. And then you go to the next bit. So if I was to do the 2nd line, D7, G7, C, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I go into the next part of the verse. Lovely you Now here we've got 4 chords in quick succession. Ah, thanks, John. I love this one. And we've got C, F, C, and C7. Isn't that lovely? Now that C7 at the end is really beautiful. Because remember how I said dominant 7th chords, they want to resolve to a chord that they're 5 above. Well, C is 5 above F. Don't believe me? Let's count it. F, G, A, B flat, C. So that C7 chord wants to go to an F. And that's how it leads you beautifully into that lovely bridge. When we go to a new section, try and remember these little tips, guys. Most of you have probably soaked these up already. A new section tends to start with the change chord, the 4 chord, which is what we've got here, or the relative minor. Later on, we're going to have a section which uses both. But notice that we start with a change chord here. Really common. F, come with me. 2 measures of that one. Back to 1. While the moon is on the sea. Then we've got D7 for 2 measures. The night is young, doing the backwards around the circle of 5th string. And so are we. Then we've got this beautiful little diminished 7th chord. Now, diminished 7th chords normally just add a little bit of movement in the piece, and this is what's happening here. In effect, what's happening is we're taking this G7 shape and we're scooching it back. It just so happens that this finger falls off the fretboard, which is why it becomes a diminished 7. So we do 2 diminished 7s like this, and then we move it back up for the G7. So if I put that together with the measure before, where I've got G7, it'll sound like this. G7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Yeah, that's it, that's it. So let's have a go at that bridge. It's really sweet, isn't it? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I couldn't resist because we're doing a couple of Hawaiian influence ones tonight. So I thought, yeah, it's time to crack out the more better. All made of Hawaiian koa, so works perfectly. I love this uke almost as much as life itself. Okay, so I'll bring in close cam. Let's have a go at a bridge just so you've got some practice of it. Hi, Rebecca. 2, 3, 4. Come with me. While the moon is on the sea, just keep it nice and gentle. The night is young, and so are we. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. On the final verse, we go back to the start. Dreams come true in blue Hawaii, and mine could all come true this magic night. Now, we only really do you can either think of it as the first 2 lines or the final 2 lines of the verse. And as is indicated on your sheets here with the little speech bubble, you can just end on the C. Magic night of nights with you. Or if you want to be super fancy, I quite like to play C followed by an F minor, which looks like this, 2 fingers up here. And then I take it away. You could, if you want to be really fancy pants, end with your finger on the 7th fret. Which is a lovely way to do it. I'll show you what I mean. So that final verse, I would go, dreams come true in blue Hawaii. So I'm on the first line, and mine could all come true. Second line, this magic C, F minor, nights with you. That's us all being fancy pants. You don't have to do that, but if you want to add it in, I just think it sounds really sweet. So that's a nice way to end it. There's a couple of other things we can do to make this really, really fancy, which I love as well. You know, we've got this little bit up here, which goes D7 to G7 up here. It's often referred to as a Hawaiian turnaround, where we get the 2 chord, followed by the 5 chord, followed by the 1 chord, 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. And those Hawaiian turnarounds, I love to add triplets into them. Yeah, enjoy. Oh, I'm just going to bring a couple of comments on a second. Yeah, keep that little finger down for the pinky and Johnny. So do the C with your pinky, add these two for F minor, and then you can take it off again. It's a little trick that. It is Chris, isn't it? Yeah, playing his Sunny D uke. That is totally amazing. I love Sunny D ukes. I've never owned one, but I have played a couple when I was in Hawaii, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic. Really had a really nice warm tone, the one that I played. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Okay, so on those turnarounds we can do triplets, and they sound really cool. They sound like this. Just sounds like Hawaii, right? Now let me show you how to do it. I'll go over a basic triplet and then I'll show you how to do the 4-part triplet, which sounds really nice. So basically with a triplet, what we do is we come down with either just our index finger, or you can use 4 fingers on your strumming hand like this. Notice that my thumb is staying up here out of the way. What we don't want is the thumb to go down as well, because the next thing we're going to do is that thumb's going to come down and brush the strings too. That gives us triple. Imagine we're going to do a 3-syllable triplet. Triple. And then to do the 3rd part of the triplet, or triplet, I know it's a 2-syllable word, but I'm going to say it as 3. Triplet. We're just going to touch up with our fingers on the way up. Triplet. Notice I like to open up my hand on that down strum. Makes the movement, makes it even smoother. Triplet, triplet. And you can practice that slow. And then when you're feeling confident, try speeding up a bit. Triplet, 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 triplet. Now, most of you won't be able to do this tonight because this is you need to practice it right and take it away. But when you've got it, if you put an up before it, up, triplet, it sounds really great. And then I also like to do a down after it. Up, triplet, down. Okay? Up, triplet, down. Up, triplet, down. Now if you do that on the D7, G7, it sounds amazing if you bring it up to speed. Isn't that lovely? So that was just a little optional thing. If you want to try that on that lovely little turnaround, the D7, G7, you can have a go. It just sounds super smart. Finally, to finish off with this one, if you fancy having a little go at a solo, we're going to do an instrumental verse after the first chorus. And you can use the C major or A minor pentatonic scale, which is really easy peasy because it's your open A string, 3rd fret, and then all the dots. Any fret that has a dot on your A string is your A minor pentatonic scale. And that's not a coincidence. That's a purposeful design of your ukulele to do so. Okay. You can also play off 2 on the C string, C, D, off 3 on the E string, E, G, and off 3 on the A string. Cool, right? So you can noodle away. You can even have a bit of a blues kind of scale going on here, where we play off 3 on the C string, that lovely bluesy E flat note there. F, G flat, G on, that's 1, 2, 3 on the E, and 1, 3 on the A string. All of these scales are in your scales and reference guide, guys, if you're interested. You can print it off and have it handy. You don't need to print it off every Kanikapila, just print it off once and you've got it forever. So if you wanted to do a little kind of solo for that, you could do something like this. Let me just play a backing track, hopefully. Yeah, here we go. That's just using the pentatonic. Or if I want to blues it, has a more kind of earthy sound, right, when I blues it. So have a little experiment. We're going to do that after the first chorus. If you don't feel you're up to any of that and or you don't want to, just strum a verse with me and hum along, whistle, or just enjoy the chords. Let's give it a go. Let's put this thing together. Okay, a bit of Blue Hawaii. I'll stay on the close camera just so you can follow what chords I'm on, like so. Okay, here we go. So nice and slow from the top. In fact, let's just play the verse through instrumentally just to get us started. The whole verse instrumentally. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be fancy pants and put the triplets in here. To the start with the vocals. Here we go. Night and you and blue Hawaii. The night is heavenly, and you are heaven to me. Third line. Lovely and blue Hawaii, with all this loveliness, there should be love. Here comes the bridge. Come with me while the moon is on the sea. D7. The night is young, and so are we. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Take an instrumental or strum with me the verse. Triplets if you fancy. Hit those notes of that pentatonic scale. Have loads of fun. Last few chords and then we'll hit another bridge. Here we go. F major. Come with me while the moon is on the sea. The night is young, and so are we. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Dreams come true in blue Hawaii, and mine could all come true. That magic night of nights with you. Yeah, well done everyone. Isn't that a classic song? And as I learned, 1937, I always thought it was 1961 with Blue Hawaii, but you learn something new every day, don't you? So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Fantastic, guys. Let us know how you got on with that. Any questions, give us a shout and let us know if you enjoyed it. It'd be great to hear from you. Indrani and Karen just brought up an important thing as well, because we've had quite a few Facebook members wanting to join the group, which is Ukulele, put my brain in, Uke Students Hangout. You can look it up, Matt Stead Uke Students Hangout on Facebook. And that's where we post our challenge videos or our works in progress, or I tell you about what's going on. All the kind of nitty gritty of my stuff's on there. And we've had quite a few people wanted to join, but if you do want to join, just make sure you answer the questions, because we've got an automatic admin thing where it just deletes your kind of application, makes it sound like a job. It deletes your wanting to join thing. Can't get my words out tonight. So if you want to join up to the uke group, just make sure you agree, yes, I agree to the rules. And there's a couple of little questions. It's basically to avoid spammers, because I'm so paranoid. A lot of these Facebook groups, they just end up covered in spam, don't they? And people trying to sell you all sorts of stuff. So, so just if you've been refused membership, it's nothing personal. It's just because you forgot to check the box. It's easy to miss it. All right, fantastic. Yeah, isn't that lovely? And you can use that on any ending of a song, that lovely sweet ending. Anything that ends in a key of C, that lovely F minor. It's like the 4 chord magnified, isn't it? Instead of having that F major, having the F minor, it really sweetens it up, which is lovely. It's a beautiful chord to put on the end of a piece. And I quite often love ending with a C chord up here. It's lovely. Now that C chord's really beautiful. The notes that make up a C chord are C, E and G, which we get on our top 3 strings open. And the reason this C works is we can repeat any of those notes, C, E or G. And when we play a C here, we're repeating a C note. When we play a C here, we're repeating an E note. We've got 2 E notes. You can even play a C, believe it or not, right up at the 10th fret, where you're repeating the G note. So something you can put on the end of songs to sweeten up. I'm not sure of the exact mechanics of it, Esther, but I've got a theory. This could be right. I'm kind of going by what makes sense to me. I think that the reason that F minor works even more beautifully than an F major is this note here. It's a really good question, Esther. So that note there in the F minor, which is different, right? When we do an F major, we've got an A note here, but in an F minor, that's the flatted third of the chord. It's a you can think of it as a G sharp or an A flat. And that's only half a step away from the G in the C chord. And any time you play a chord which has a note half a step away from the next chord, it has this beautiful resolution. So I think it's that resolution there which makes it sound so fantastic and makes it sound a sweeter resolution than the normal F major. So yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's quite clever. And you can do that anytime you do the 4 chord going to the 1 chord, you can turn it into a minor, which sounds really lovely. Oh yeah, go for it, Shell. Stick them in anywhere you've got those kind of 2 beat chords. Sounds fantastic. So that C and F sounds great as well. You could even, some Hawaiian players would even triplet the whole thing like this. It's a really cool way of playing accompaniment, isn't it? Hawaiian style, which is really nice. But yeah, have an experiment with that. Fantastic. Okay, let's bring in another song then. So next up, I think it's next, we've got probably my all-time favourite Elvis song. Of course, I say Elvis song. He didn't write the songs himself, and I have made a note of the songwriters on this one because this is another one where I learned something new, which was kind of interesting. So this was actually written by Mark James, who was a songwriter for Elvis. He also wrote "Always on My Mind" for Elvis as well. And this songwriter, Mark James, decided to try and release this song himself, but it was a flop for Mark, unfortunately. Thankfully, he gave it to Elvis, and in 1968, Elvis released his version of A Suspicious Mind, and it was his last ever #1 single. In fact, it was his 18th #1 single. It's not bad going, is it? And this was kind of it suited his new style, where he was doing an almost like gospel soul kind of inflection, wasn't he, in his Vegas music at this point, and it suited it perfectly, which is really, really lovely. Oh, don't worry, Fran. I'll try and dig them out later, but if you go on my website, you could probably search it off Google as well. I've got some cool lessons where I can get you to, I'll show you how to do triplets, and I break it down really in a lot more detail than I can do in a Kanikapila thing. So check those out. I'll try and see if I can find a way of posting it as well, which would be really so everyone can have a look at that. But yeah, triplets, they take a while. You've got to really slow it down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then just gradually speed it up. I used to spend a lot of time, even without my uke, just practicing my triplets like this, just getting them really, really smooth. So practice makes perfect. Take your time on that, absolutely. So let's have a look at this Suspicious Minds then. Really kind of, well, it's just ace, isn't it? Everyone loves this song pretty much. This song's really fascinating because it starts off in 1 key signature, 4/4 time. Then it goes into a bridge where it goes into 6/8 time. I'll talk to you about these time signatures in a bit more detail in a minute and how to strum them. And then it goes back again when it goes to another verse. So this is quite an unusual thing to actually change time signature mid-song. Quite unusual. In terms of the chords, it's relatively straightforward. The verse is just the 1, 4, 5 chords. So we're still in the key of C. So 1 is the 1 chord, kind of makes you feel settled at home. Then 4, that change chord again, right? C, D, E, F is F major. And then the 5 chord introduces an element of tension, so that G introduces tension. Wants to go back to C, and it does it via the 4 chord. So relatively straightforward. Now this one, because we want to put a bit of energy in this one, we're going to do straight 8 strums, so twice as many strums in the same time that we were doing before. So I'll bring close camera up. Now, the easiest way to do straight 8s is to take some of your nails. You don't have to have long nails, short nails is absolutely fine. Rather than using 1, I like to drag at least 3 nails over the strings. And we're just going to do down strums. Notice when I'm doing straight 8s, normally when I'm doing strumming, most of the action comes from the elbow, but with straight 8s, a lot of it comes from the wrist because we just want a quick movement coming down like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're caught in the trap. We'll speed it up in a minute. F. We can't walk out right because I love you too much, baby. Now at any point, because you're just doing those down strums, down, 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 you can also go twice as quick, even faster than that, by touching on the way up. See? Because I'm always already coming up to go down, 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 yuppie, 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 like that, right? Then you get this. We're caught in a trap. I'll do it here. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. See how I'm just adding those extra pushes to fill it out, which is really nice. And it creates this kind of building feel, which is really great. Yeah, absolutely, Shell. Yeah, don't feel you've got to hit all of those 4 strings, especially the up strum. That's just a very, you just catching that bottom string. But yeah, if we get time at the end, just remind me, guys. Now go over triplets really slowly for you, just to help out, because it's a key skill. It's definitely worth having a look at. All right. So let's try a verse with those straight 8s, just so you can see how it works. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out. I take tempo up slightly because I love you too much, baby. Second verse starts the same. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? Now next bit's kind of really fascinating because we start with the G chord, the 5 chord, go back to the 4 chord, and then we have this lovely progression, 5, 4, 3. We're basically coming down the chords, aren't we, in the key? We're going from G to F to E. We call those the diatonic chords, the natural chords that come up in a key. That's a really common device to use. It happens a lot in Motown music when they want a sense of music, of movement. Bob Dylan used to do this a lot as well, going up and down through the diatonic chords. Remember, we've got 2 beats of each, so you've got to be fairly quick on this next bit. G, F, E minor, and then we have G7, and that's just to create a sense of tension at the end. A 7th chord, as you've learned earlier, really wants to resolve somewhere, so it kind of creates a sense of tension. Let's try a verse, one of those verses too, so you can have a go. 2, 3, 4. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When I don't believe the word I say. Isn't that lovely? Then we go to the chorus. Now the chorus opens up on the F chord. That's just like the last song. A new section starting with the 4 chord. Again, really soak these up, these little tips, because then it will help you to know what to expect, what's going to come up in a song. And that's what happens here. We've got the 4 chord, a sense of change. We can go back to 1 for resolution, on together. Then the 3 chord adds sadness. We're going to do a song by Gordon Lightfoot later on called If You Could Read My Mind. And it's so sad, I actually teared up when I was playing it earlier. The 3 chord, E minor, it's there to invoke a sense of sadness or kind of heartbreak. And it really does. At that point, it kind of makes the song feel sad. And then that's relieved by a normal 4/5 progression. Then we go to the A minor, which is the relative minor. So we've got both the change chord and the relative minor going on in this section. The relative minor is the 6th chord, C, D, E, F, G, A, or A minor in this case, and it's often used for the start of a new section, just like the 4 chord. So we've got the kind of the 4 chord change, and we've got the relative minor, which is really lovely. If all that's a bit, don't sweat it, just learn how to play the chords, and you'll have loads of fun doing that, okay? So then we have A minor to E minor, that heartbreak chord again. Then it's relieved by 4/5 again. Notice we go from G to a G7. If you find that quick change really difficult because you've got 2 beats of one, 2 beats of the other, you could get away with just staying on a G, it'll be fine. But I like the tension of the G7 there. All right. Let's ignore the E7, I'll tell you about that in just a second. Let's just try a chorus so we can put that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. Then we're back to another verse. See how that G7 wants to go to that C chord. And just like Esther mentioned about why is that F minor there, why does that work in the last song, the reason G7 works beautifully leading you into a C is that backwards around the circle of fifths, but also this note here, this the 3rd note in G, this B note wants to resolve to the C note in the C chord. Again, it's that half step movement arias love to hear, so that's how it's used there. Then we'll just do another verse 1, another verse 2, and then another chorus. Now at the end of the 2nd chorus, you're not going to play the G and G7, you're going to play an E7 in its place. Now this is a really clever chord. It's there for a specific reason. Remember, I'm banging on about these 7th chords wanting to resolve to a chord they're 5 above. Well, an E is 5 above an A, B, C, D, E, right? So an E7 wants to go to an A chord, and that's its function. Having that E7 there sets up it going to the bridge, which starts with an A minor, which is really lovely. So when we do the last chorus, the 2nd chorus I should say, and can build our dreams on suspicious minds. We've got that one at the end. And that takes you to the A minor of the bridge. Now this is where the band's been going, kind of playing it quite a lick when Elvis does this when he does it. I wish he was still doing it. When he did it on stage in Vegas, he'd kind of calm down for a little bit and we get this bridge. And as I say, this is quite unusual. This bridge is in 6/8 time. That means rather than there being 4 beats in a measure, there's 6 beats in a measure, and they're played as 8th notes, which is just like a straight 8 strum, so you don't have to worry about that bottom number. So that means instead of strumming 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to strum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to do that on every chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, F2, 3. See how it changes the moods completely, right? It brings everything down. If you want to add a few up strums, you can. But it's really important you count to 6 on each one. Alright? I'll show you how it works. We'll go from the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, let our love survive. F. I'll dry the tears from your eyes. A minor. Let's don't let a good thing die. When honey, you know, never lie. As soon as I hit this G7 at the end, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm back to the 4/4 time. So I'm back to the straight 8s, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it creates this lift here. It's so clever. And of course at that point when he did it in Vegas, the band would start going crazy and everyone would kick in and everyone would love it because it sounds so great. It gets the energy going. I'll play one of those bridges and you can strum along and we'll go into another verse so you can see how it works. Once you've done it once, I think you'll get an idea. I'll come in and close cam. So come in after 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, let our love survive. I'll dry the tears from your eyes. Let's don't let a good thing die. When honey, you know I've never lied to you. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're caught in a trap. I can't work out. Isn't that cool? I love little genius things like that in songs. I'm not saying I'm genius by any sense of the imagination. I'm just playing them. Mark James, who wrote that, he was a genius. I love that change. It almost gets your adrenaline going, doesn't it? It's just such a clever device and absolutely fantastic. All right, so look out for that at the end of the bridge. We start kind of up in the tempo and we go into 4/4 time, which creates this sense of drama. Now that's basically it. We're not going to do a solo in this one because there's enough going on already and there isn't a solo in this one. So we're going to keep it relatively straightforward. There's one more thing to look out for. In the final verse, let me just have a quick look. Rather than doing what happens at the end of verse 2 here, or verse 1, the final verse, when we get to the bottom line, G, F, we just have this CF, CF at the end. C, F, C, F, and it just keeps going round and round. In the Vegas performance, this is where they get faster and faster. It sounds something like this. Why can't you see? So final verse. What you doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say. Just like that, we do that round and round. I'm caught in the trap. And we we just keep that going round and round to the end, basically. Now, if you like, you can also, rather than the F chord, I actually like to add an F note to the C chord. So rather than doing a full F like this, I'll just add this note here, which turns it into a C sus4. I'll just do that at the end. I'll give you an example. I'll do one of the final verses. We're caught in the trap. I can't walk out because I love you. Here comes too much, baby. Caught in the trap. See how then I've only got to add one finger down rather than changing to an F chord. You can do either. I just like the way it sounds, and I think that's closer to the original. I wanted to put the F chord down because in the original sheet music it does change to the full F major chord. But I think his musicians, when they played it in Vegas, are using that suspended chord instead. So have a little bit of an experiment there. See what sounds good to you. And at that point we might speed up a little bit, just like Elvis does. We'll go mad. I won't start doing all the windmills and everything because I might put my arm out of socket or something. So there we go. I'd like to say I wasn't in as good shape as Elvis was back then, but I don't think he was in that great shape actually, was he? I think he was eating like 12 cheeseburgers a day at that point. There's some brilliant, fascinating facts in the back actually that you can read about Elvis and his diet and his taste in colours and all sorts. Some brilliant, fascinating facts in the back there. Okay, so let's give it a go. We can do this. Let's give it a go from the top. Here we go. So let's just do the first verse instrumentally, and then we'll go again from the top. Verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just as an introduction. F, G. Then we'll do verse 1 again as if we're going right from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. Verse 2. Why can't you see what you're doing to me? When you don't believe a word I say. Here comes our chorus. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can't build up bridges on suspicious minds. To the top. So if an old friend I know stops to say hello, would I still see suspicion in your eyes? Verse 4. Here we go again, asking where I've been. You can see the tears are real, I'm crying. Here's our chorus. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. walk out. Stay with me. Because I love you too much, baby. I'm caught in a trap. I can't walk out. Because I love you too much, baby. Let's slow it. I'm caught in a trap. As slow as you can get now. I can't walk out. Because I love you too much, baby. Yeah, cool, fantastic. Well done, well done. It's really interesting that ending. I totally went for it. So yeah, I went a little bit mad there. So oh, don't worry, Andrade, it's all good. Oh, Peter, good to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping well. I hope you're doing well. Hey, I'm desperate to come down and go looking for those black vein whites in the summer if you're up for it. We did actually think of you when we were down at Hutchinson's Bank, Peter, but I knew you were convalescing, but I know you're doing really well now. So I want to come and head down your way again soon. Oh, thank you, thanks, Sue. Just keeping them really light is the main key to those straight eights. Keeping them super light, and then just whenever you feel like it, just a few touches on the up strum just to kind of thicken it up, which is great. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Barbara. That's what I like. Yeah, totally. Sometimes you get songs that you're not even that necessarily into. I find that with some jazz stuff sometimes. And like when you study it and you appreciate what's going on, it makes you kind of enjoy it on a whole other level, doesn't it? And like those clever little songwriting devices, like that 6/8 to the 4/4 time. Did you feel that surge? It's really clever, really neat. I love stuff like that, which is fantastic. Yeah, thanks Esther for the brilliant, fascinating facts. Goosey, Karen had a week off this time, so Esther stepped into the breach. So Rebecca was just saying sometimes when she tensed up when she was strumming fast, it sounded a little bit harsh. So what I was saying was the best thing to do is when you strum, keep it as light as possible. Hi Esther! Esther, can you do me a massive favour and just post the link on Facebook and on the old video? I'll love you forever. You're an absolute star, thank you. I will anyway, but that'd be absolutely amazing. So when you're strumming, if you're going fast, keep your strum as light as possible. So just the very tips of your nails are going to strum over the strings. Try not to get caught up in them or strum too hard. So for instance, on the Elvis song, it could be something like this. Thanks, Esther. Notice just the nails of just the tips of those fingernails are touching the strings. And I've noticed that Jake Shimabukuro does this a lot as well. So it's kind of like an inverse of what you'd imagine. When a song is slow, you're going to dig in and actually push relatively hard. Thanks, Steve, you're an absolute gent. Because that pulls out the tone. But when something is really fast, do the opposite and keep your strum really light. That's brilliant. Steve or Esther or Karen, if you get a chance, could you post the link on the old video as well, like in the comments? I don't know if you're able to do that, but that would really help as well, just for people finding us. Phew, I'm so sorry, guys. Hopefully most people will catch up. Most of you have come back now, which is fantastic. So just whilst we're waiting for a few other people to catch up, this would have been where we'd normally take our break anyway. So what I'll do is I'll just tell you about a couple of things that's coming up. First off, we've got another live lesson coming up soon. It's been a bit of a break for that one too, because I was away for my last one. Oh, this has got the old date on it, which is a bit of a pain. But this one's going to be next Wednesday. So not this Wednesday, but Wednesday after. I'm going to do a claw hammer ukulele lesson on I Had a Bulldog. So we're going to do this lovely kind of up-pick claw hammer style, which sounds something like this. Let me come in and close cam. That kind of really kind of almost sounds almost like a bit kind of Woody Guthrie-esque, or going back even further. What was his name? One of the most famous. Now my brain's gone. I think this change in the videos and stuff has made my brain go kaput. I'm having a really what's his name? Used to do lots of banjo style stuff. Pete. Anyway, it'll come back to me later. So that's going to be. I'm going to show you the basics of claw hammer using the nails the original way. That kind of style. Then I'm going to show the up pick style, which is smoother, and I'm going to show you how you can get 3 notes in the space of where we would normally have 2 or 1. We might even be able to get up to 4 notes in the space where we'd have 1, and that's where things sound really, really exciting by using ornamentation such as hammer-ons and pull-offs. Thanks, Barbara, you saved me. Yeah, Pete Seeger. So Pete Seeger, whereas most people did claw hammer by striking downwards, like that, which is quite a harsh sound, he used to pick upwards, which is a softer sound. Which I think really suits ukulele because it gives that lovely soft sound which suits the tone of lots of ukuleles. So I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing claw hammer basically, which is going to be super exciting. So that'll work for next time. I haven't seen Indrani again, Esther. I don't know if she got fed up and went. She's quite fair enough if she did. Fingers crossed she'll find her way back in a bit, which would be great. So that's going to be next week as well. So that'd be fantastic. Right, back to this week. Let's do another Elvis song. So we're going to go from kind of fast and crazy to kind of slow and sultry, but really, really beautiful. Indrani made it! Yay! Well done, Indrani. We got you. I think most people have managed to get back over, but we're there. We've lost a few, but hopefully I'll catch up later on. So we're going to go from the manicness of Suspicious Minds to the kind of silky smoothness of Can't Help Falling in Love with You, which is an absolute beautiful, beautiful tune again. So this is really interesting because this was on the same musical as Blue Hawaii. So this one was written for Blue Hawaii in 1961. And again, I'm looking at my sheet because I can never remember how to pronounce people's names. It's Hugo Peretti, Luigi Creatore, hopefully I've said that right, and George David Weiss. And this is kind of interesting as well, I think. I love all this kind of nerdy stuff. If you have a look at the lyrics in this, some of the lyrics don't rhyme. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? I can't help falling in love with you. It's like, doesn't quite scan, does it? Wise men say, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Still beautiful. It's really interesting. The reason is, when they originally wrote it, they intended for the roles to be reversed. So this would actually be a woman singing about a man, so a woman singing about Elvis. So it's meant to read, wise men say, only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with him. It makes sense when you say it, right? Shall I stay? Would it be a sin? I can't help falling in love with him. But of course, eventually it was decided that Elvis was going to sing it. And they couldn't think of a way to make it rhyme the other way around. So they just, she and whatever. So they just kept these really interesting kind of lyrics. And I think they still scan all right, even though they don't rhyme. I think they scan beautifully. I think because it's such a slow tempo song, it kind of gets away with it, which is great. Hopefully I don't spoil it for you guys. This is actually a song we sing at the Swindon matches at football. Would you believe it? I can't help falling in love with you. Swindon, Swindon. I hope that hasn't ruined it for anyone. So this song is close to my heart for a couple of reasons. So there we go. And yeah, Karen's quite right. So the melody for this one was swiped from the French song Plaisir d'amour, which I wrote down somewhere was written in 1784. That's how old a melody it is. Elvis's writers quite often did that. The piece Love Me Tender, Love Me True, that was originally a piece called Aurelie, which was an old American folk song. So they quite often took these melodies from elsewhere, rewrote lyrics for them, and created these tunes. But the harmony is really beautiful in this as well. So it's definitely lovely. Now we're still in 6/8 time, which is really interesting for this one, like we were on the bridge to the last song. And we're going to take this really slowly. So we're going to strum those straight eights, 1, 2, 3, okay, about that speed, all your down strums. But this time we're going to count 6 per measure, like we did in the bridge of the last song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. Really pretty, isn't it? Now notice the use of that 3 chord, the E minor, the saddest sounding chord, and it's followed by another minor chord to really ratchet up the emotions here. So 1, 3 chord for heartbreak, melancholy of the 6th chord. Then we've got more usual chords, the 4 for change, resolves, 5 for tension. 4 for change, 5 for tension, melancholy of 6, 4 change, and the 1 chord, tension of the 5 chord, resolve into the 1 chord. Really simple but beautiful pattern that. So you can actually, if you want to, you can finger pick this one, like Indrani says. This one's beautiful for finger picking because it's 6/8 time, and if you do this top to bottom pick and come back, you get 6 notes, which is perfect. So I'm holding down a C chord and I'm picking thumb, index, middle, ring. That's G string, C string, E string, A string. Then I come back to E string and the C string. Okay. G, C, E, A, E, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lovely way to play this one. So you do that on every measure, like this. Isn't that lovely? Would I be a sin that I can't help falling in love with you? Isn't that lovely? So have a little try on that, or you can do the straight 8 strum, which is what we're doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I almost always strum with my nails, but on this one it sounds quite nice if you strum with the pad of your thumb. Keep it really mellow. To have a little experiment. So see what you think sounds best. Yeah, that there and back works brilliant with low G, doesn't it, Karen? Because you're going from that lowest note to the highest note and back again, which is perfect. So it does work beautifully on low G. You can get away with it on high G as well, but it does sound super lovely on low G. Let's do a verse just so we can try that out. I'm just going to do the strum, but you can try the picking pattern if you like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wise men say only fools rush in, verses, we would have another one as well. Then in a bridge, to really ratchet up that sense of emotion, we go to the 3 chord. Remember, try and take some of this stuff away with you. The 3 chord is all about heartbreak. So whenever it goes to a 3 chord, it's a sad part in the song. And that's what we have here. We go to an E minor, like, just think of it as going up and over, up and over. Now that goes to the B7. Now a B7 is 5 above an E. E, F, G, A, B. It's 5 above it. So remember, chords that are 5 apart pair up beautifully, and that's no exception here. So we have E minor to a B7, resolving back to E minor. You could think of this section as in E minor, it modulates, but I've just named them as 3, and then the 7 chord just to make it easier. Now, the cool thing about this, to play a B7, you can play a B7 like this, but look, we can just take that E minor and move every finger up a string. So this would be E minor, this would be B7, E minor, B7, E minor, B7, E minor, B7. And what I like to do to kind of scooch up to make it easier is I like to use this finger here just to go ahead, so then I can move the others and you can practice. So 6 on each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we repeat that 3 times? Okay, and then on the next one we do E minor to A major. That's 2, 1, 0, 0 nose to toes, like an F with this one added up. D minor, and G. That creates a 2, 5, which then makes you want to go back to 1 at the start. Okay, let's try a bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. And then you're back to a verse. Take my hand. Like that, yeah. That's it. Yeah, that 7 chord's really great. It's that tension again, isn't it? That B7, it makes you want to go places, which is really lovely. And then it kind of gets grounded back into that E minor, which is really lovely. And you get that juxtaposition. So 7th chords, those dominant 7th chords, they always feel restless, which is really, really cool. And that's basically it. Now, we've also got the opportunity for another solo here, which would be really, really nice. We're still in the key of C, so you can still use that C pentatonic scale to solo with. Let's do a reminder. That's your open A, 3rd fret, 5th fret, all your dots, 7, 10, 12, even right up here at the 15th. You can also do off 2 for C, D, off 3 for E, G, off 3 for A, C. The reason when I do it this way, people often say it sounds like something from the Far East. And that's because a lot of Far Eastern music, including Japanese music, is based on pentatonic scales, so it has that kind of sound. If you've ever played chopsticks on piano, that's all pentatonic notes, so it's kind of interesting, it has that sound to it. But you can use any of those notes to solo in this one. Now, because this one's a really kind of a gentle, slow song, just let those notes really kind of linger a little bit. So, oh my goodness. Wise men say, only fools rush in. There you go, Esther. Okay, moving swiftly on. So if you're doing a solo, just make your notes a bit few and far between on this and it'll sound really pretty. I'll give you an example. So see, it doesn't need a lot. So don't feel like you've got to go crazy on this one. If you fancy soloing, you could do something really simple and it will still sound really effective and beautiful. So yeah. Thanks, guys. Love it. Okay, right. Let's do it. Let's have a go at Can't Help Falling in Love all the way through. So it goes verse, verse, bridge. Then we're going to do an instrumental verse, verse with singing, and then a bridge, and then a final verse. So in effect, it goes verse, verse, bridge, verse, verse, bridge, verse to finish off. It's that simple. And we repeat the final line twice. Just the last line. Just repeat it twice. You'll soon get an idea as we go. Okay, fantastic. Yay, you found us again. I'm so sorry for all the mucking about. It's been, normally my internet connection's been really reliable recently. I don't know what happened there. I think it was my streaming program rather than the internet. I don't know, weirdness. We're all here anyway, that's the important thing. Okay, here we go then, from the top. Let's just do one verse instrumentally to get us going as an introduction, and then we'll go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C. Here we go, right from the top. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Another verse. Shall I stay? It would be a sin, but I can't help falling in love with you. It's a bridge, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Verse instrumentally, take a solo or strum with me. Back to another verse. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Another bridge, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Back absolutely brilliant. That song's a really great one for showing how lovely 6/8 time is. It really kind of lengthens everything out, doesn't it? Because rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It really kind of lengthens out the measure, so you get these lovely, beautiful, flowing, gentle songs. Let us know what you thought of that and how you got on with that. Beautiful, beautiful song that. So 6/8 times used a lot in country songs, and that does have an almost kind of country feel to it, doesn't it? It's got that lovely, lovely kind of flowing feel to it, which is lovely, and that slow kind of low tempo-ness, which is really, really beautiful as well. Okay, so final piece of music for today then, guys. We're going to look, oh, this next one's an absolute beaut. I love this song. I've said this 3 times already, but I'll say it again. When I was playing this earlier, I did actually tear up. So this was our People's Choice for this week, and it's a beautiful song by Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. Probably my favourite Gordon Lightfoot song. So Gordon Lightfoot was a Canadian singer-songwriter, an absolutely brilliant artist. And this one was written about the breakup of his marriage after he was divorced. And it's the lyrics are so sad, but so beautifully put together. And it was so kind of intense that his daughter actually made him, or kind of asked him to change some of the lyrics. So again, a bit like last Elvis track, there are a couple of changes here. So there's this one bit where it says, where is it? Yeah, and if you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm trying to understand the feelings that we lack. Originally, that was written as the feelings that you lack, and his daughter was kind of upset about it as like an attack on her mother, obviously. So he rewrote it as the feelings that we lack, which I think is a sweeter line anyway. But yeah, it's such, when you know the story behind it, it's really hard to perform this with a dry eye because it's just so sad. And I think even Esther's picture, you've just captured that sadness in his eyes with a line drawn picture, which is just marvelous. I think it's brilliant. So yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece by Gordon Lightfoot. This song's in the key of G, so G is our 1 chord here. So we've got some slightly more unusual chords. Some of these chords are really sophisticated, and I'll try and explain them as we go, which will be really lovely. So, oh yeah, I bet that sounded great on low G. Good to hear it, good to hear it. And Barbara, yeah, nice. So Barbara's picked that on a low G. Absolutely fantastic. And Karen muffled her solo on that last one, but that doesn't matter, does it? This is a beautiful thing about Kanikapila. Only you and your family, pets, or neighbours can hear you. So don't worry. You can muffle a solo and it doesn't matter, and you'll get the next one a lot better. It's all good. We're all friends. Okay, so the chords in this one are quite unusual. We've got the 1 chord starting us out. Now this one I'm going to do a kind of straight 8s again with a few extra up strums. So let me just bring close cam. I'm going to do something like this. Now if you want to approximate that really simply, just do down, 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 up, down, up. Or I like to think of it as walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, down, 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 up, down, up, down. In slow-mo. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. And at tempo. Something like that would sound really lovely. If you find that tough, just do down strums. Like this. Just keep that lovely tension going. Okay, really simple. Okay, lovely. Now, as I say, the chords on this are quite unusual. We have the flat 7th chord. Now, this is quite often used. It's often called writing in the mixolydian mode, where we use the 7th chord, but we flatten it. It comes back, goes back to modal music from like the medieval times, believe it or not, the use of that. But it's really common in rock music, and indie music as well quite often uses this flatted seventh chord, which is really, really beautiful. It's used in place of the four chords. So instead of going G to C, as you would imagine, we have G to F, and it works really beautifully. So we have this start. If you could read my mind, love to F, what a tale my thoughts could tell. We repeat that, just like an old time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. Then we have what I think is one of the most beautiful chord sequences in modern music. I think this is lovely, these next few chords. We've got the G chord, in a castle, and then he turns it into a G7, dark. And that's really interesting because by turning the G major into a G7, it wants to go somewhere. Where does the seventh chord want to go? To a chord that's 5 below it. 5 below G is a C. C, D, E, F, G. So by turning the G into a G7, it wants to resolve to a C, which is really, really clever thing to do. Then we have the 5 chord at the end of the line for tension. We often have that, right? So that's G. Where are we? In a castle dark, or a fortress strong, with chains upon my... Then the heartbreak chord. That, honestly, I'm not kidding, because I'm kind of, I'm a bit obsessed with chords and the way they make me feel. When I hear that E minor, it really pulls my heartstrings. It makes me feel so sad. That's the power of that chord, that E minor. This time it's acting as the 6th chord, which is generally a bit more melancholic, but I think because it's next to the C chord, it almost feels like a 3. So basically it's just very, very sad sounding chord, which is really beautiful, and it does. C chord, with chains upon my feet. Then we have this refrain, which is almost like a little musical motif or an extra tagline on the end. We go to the 4 chord. I will never, back to 1, be set free. A minor 7, just all fingers off. As long as I'm the tension of the 5 chord, a ghost that you can see. And then we're back to the 1. And that verse refrain happens on both verses 1 and 2. So this bit we play through verses 1 and 2. Let's try one verse with that just to give it a go. All right, come in with me after 4. Okay. 1. Oh, let me just check. Oh yeah. Yeah, right, Len. Yeah, it's not just me then. Yeah, absolutely. It makes me want to tear up. It's just so beautiful. I think paired with that lyric as well, it's just like, oh man, in a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet, you know the ghost is me. It's like, oh man, it's just so beautiful. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me, is the refrain. And I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost that you can see. And each time we're just going to rest on that 1 chord. I know it only says 1 measure there, but we're going to rest on that 1 chord when we get to the end of one of those verse and refrains. All right, just before we hit the next bit. Then the next verse and refrain are exactly the same. So next verse, 2 and refrain, you're going to do this exactly the same as before. Now verse 3, we're going to do these chords here. It looks more complex than it is. The start of this bit, in fact, these first 5 lines are the same as these 5 lines. It's just it has this, verses 3 and 4 have this extra refrain, this extra long refrain which is tacked on. Now the start of verse 3 starts instrumentally, the G to F. Now, if you want to, there's a little bit of tab that you can play down the bottom, which is what it approximates what Gordon does on guitar. It sounds something like this. It's really pretty, isn't it? So it's 3 G notes here. Now, you might think the lyrics only go 2 G notes there, but in the solo he does hit it 3 times like a triplet, like this. 3 3 3, and then 2 3 F sharp, open A, G low D note. If you find tab a struggle, you can just strum this bit, don't worry about this, but if you want to go, then we've got 5 5 5, and you can do either a pull off, or I prefer just to slide it back. You do the same 4 to 2 and then off. Okay, so it'll sound something like this. Let me do a backing track so you can hear. Isn't that lovely? Really pretty. Now remember, you can watch this video, you can pause it, come back to this later in the replay. So if you're not able to get that yet straight away, you can come back to it. It's a really pretty one. Yeah, right, Peter. I'm reading that as if you're saying that in your jazz voice. Nice. Oh, by the way, Peter, just as you're here, I was 3 days late turning my calendar today that you got me. Peter does some beautiful photography, and Peter very kindly sent me one of his calendars with his beautiful photos in, and I flipped it today, and June was the Forest of Dean. I wasn't expecting it. It's a surprise, so love that, Peter, and it's a beautiful photo, so I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, so that's the solo that we do over the G and F bit. So we do an instrumental start to the verse, and then when we get to line 3, the vocals come back in. So when we get to this line, I'd walk away like a movie star that gets burned in a 3-way script. Enter number 2. Now this time we have this extended refrain, so it goes on a little bit longer, and it really ratchets up the kind of emotions. So we get this a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out. Now normally there, as in the first 2 verses, we go to a G, but we have that E minor chord again, heartbreak. Love is real, so on and so forth. Let me do that from, I'll go from this 3rd line down here, okay, this G to G7. See if you can follow it along. 2, 3, 4. Moving queen. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm singing the wrong bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burned in a 3-way script. Enter number 2. Here's a long refrain. A movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. Then we repeat C, G. Never, let's be real. We go again. I never thought I could act this way, and I've gotta say that I just don't get it. Same again. lovely. So the refrain is lengthened and it's gorgeous because you get that tension and melancholy and sadness of those minor chords again and again. It's like he ratchets it up, which is, I think, absolutely beautiful and wonderful and amazing. I just really take some time after you've played this to really study that chord progression, because it's beautiful and just really gorgeous the way those chords melt into the next. If you look at it, there's nothing particularly tricky going on. You've got C to G, C to G, 4 to 1, 4 to 1, change chord followed by home chord. And then you've got a simple 2-5 combination, that A minor to D, and then you've got the 1 at the end, the G, 2, 5, 1. But by putting that 4 chord in the middle, that C, it creates more movement and it creates a sophisticated sound, which is just beautiful. So really take some time to study that afterwards. But let's give it a go. Let's try it, okay? So verses 1 and 2, we do this one, verses 3 and 4, this one. So we have this twice and then this twice. Let's give it a go. All right, guys. You take care, Indrani. Good to see you again. Good to see you. I'll come in on close cam. I'll stick around afterwards for any questions that you've got, and we'll hang out for a bit. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Right from the top now. I won't do an introduction. We'll just go straight in. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell, just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well in a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm a ghost you can see. There we go again. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell, just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstore sells. When you reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again, because that ending's just too hard to take. Count you in for the solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or strum with me. F. And again, G. Then we go from the third line of the verse. I'd walk away like a movie star who gets burnt in a 3-way script. Enter number 2, a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've gotta say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's one will wish you well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet, but stories always end. Final refrain. And if you read between the lines, you know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that we lack. I never thought I could feel this way, and I've gotta say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back. Oh man. Whoa, that's epic. That's just such a beautiful song. And thank you. Karen's Karen wanted me to do this for a long time because I think it's, being Canadian, she's probably got a special connection to it. But I think it's one of her favourite songs. I'm so glad that we did that, Karen, because I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. Sometimes we think of songs that they have to be really positive, but sometimes the saddest songs can be the most beautiful, can't they? And that just, man, there's bits in that just really get me. That bit where I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone and I just can't get it back. Oh man, it's just so sad, but it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, nice. I bet it sounds lush and deep on the baritone, Barbara. Yeah, really lovely. So don't forget, if you enjoyed that, if you could like the video on YouTube, so not on the comments, if you like the overall video, that really helps with YouTube to pick up the algorithms on this. And if you want to support the running costs of the channel, I try and do Kanikapila for free. Well, I always will, and I always do. I'll do it for free every Monday evening. But if you wanted to send any tips, and they're really greatly appreciated, thank you to those that did last week or the week before. Really, really appreciate it. You can send them to the details in the description or paypal.me/Uprema. Thank you very, very much. And of course, you can always head over to the website. Best way to support me to create new content is to go and join up as a member of the website. And for £10 a month, you get 9 courses. Soon there'll be 10 because I'm working on a new one. 10 sequential courses with many of them have got 30 videos in each. Hundreds of hours of learning. There's hundreds of tabbed arrangements and song sheets that you can get immediate access to as well. You can send me video submissions for your learning, all sorts of good stuff on there. You can even send me direct questions via the app as well. The Apple app's out at the moment. The Google app, we're having some problems getting it published at the moment, but we think we're nearly there. So hopefully that should be out soon as well. So you'll be able to do everything in the palm of your hand, which is really, really exciting. Don't forget, we'll be back not this week, but next week I'll be back with my clawhammer live ukulele lesson. And I'm not away now for a little while until the festival, so we will be going straight through with Kanikapila. So back to regular Mondays. Fingers crossed we won't have any trouble next week and the connection will be a bit better. So I think Esther was really kindly offered to stitch the 2 videos together. She's done that in the past. So if you want to watch this back as a replay to go over any of the pieces again, just hang fire. And Esther's got a clever way of stitching the 2 videos together, and then I'll republish it and then it'll all be in one piece. And all of the Kanikapila are archived on my website. So if you ever missed one or you want to look back, just go to my website, mattsteadukulele.com, and just follow live lessons and there'll be your Kanikapilas. And there's an archive of all the old ones. Likewise, all the old live lessons are there as well that you can go and take part on as well. So yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Lovely, lovely. We've got some Gordon Lightfoot fans in the house. Love it. Brilliant. That'd be a really nice one, wouldn't it? Yeah, nice, nice. I love his voice and his playing as well. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? It's just really, really beautiful. I need to go and listen to some more Gordon Lightfoot. Actually, it's been a while, so yeah, it's about time. Oh, thanks, Sheila. Thanks, everyone. Heartbreaker, you're dead right, Fred. Dead right. There we go. And again, apologies about those technical difficulties. It's really frustrating when something like that happens. I really appreciate you coming and finding me afterwards. So thank you, much, much appreciated. Um, Massive thanks to Esther and Karen for all their works on the sheets as well, and Indrani for checking things over, much appreciated as well. And thanks so much to those that posted the links as well on Facebook and everything as well. So yeah. Karen and Barbara are geeing each other on to perform some Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah, excellent. Oh, just let me remind you as well. Oh, it's almost like Esther, you read my mind then. That we've got our new challenges that are happening, and they're going to happen. It's going to be every fortnight or so that we're going to do, and we're going to do some where I'm going to challenge you to kind of record yourself playing some songs. One of the best things to record, best ways to record your progress is to do little videos of yourself. And I thought a great way of getting everyone involved and doing new stuff would be for you guys to record some videos of yourself playing and share it with the other folks. And it's all in a really supportive environment. It's never anything kind of scary. Everyone's really, really kind and encouraging on the website. So I came up with this idea. I'm just looking at my phone because I'm just going to send over the picture of these new challenges. No worries, Fran. See you again. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Karen, that's a flea on the floor behind me. Let me just grab it whilst I'm waiting for this picture to come through. Okay, this is one I had ages ago for the shop, and I take this on holiday with me. It's just really neat because it's kind of indestructible, and you can stand it up, and you don't have to worry about it. It's really clever. So I love fleas and flutes, absolutely brilliant. And I think they're kind of iconic designs. I think in like 50 years' time, these will be like the vintage ukes that everyone loves to collect because I think they're really, really cool. Yeah, let me just see if I can bring the picture up. So I'm going to do these monthly challenges. Where is it? Let's see. See it at the top there. Yeah, cool. And it's going to look something like this. And every week, I'm going to pick my two favourites. Now, it doesn't have to be the most technically brilliant. That's not what it's all about. So it doesn't matter if you've been playing 30 years or 3 weeks. The important thing is you record your progress, and it's all about encouraging us to like keep going and think of kind of new ways to be original. So even if you only know 3 chords, you've got as much chance of winning as someone that knows 30 chords, right? And if you do, you get these cool badges. Now I've disconnected my phone, so I don't know how well you can see that. But that's the Matt thinks. Oh no, that's my I love my uke. There it is. This was my favourite. Where is it? And this is. I want this to eventually be like a Blue Peter badge that people will wear on their lapels or coats with pride. It says Matt says I'm amazing, and that's going to be the kind of overall winner each time. So you're going to get a Matt says I'm amazing badge that you can attach to your ukulele strap or whatever. We've also got an easy peasy lemon squeezy, which is one of my catchphrases. It's not a purposeful catchphrase. I just say it without thinking every single time I'm doing a video, apparently. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then we've just got some fun you can do it, etc. So you'll get, the winners will get a whole set of button badges every 2 weeks. So this is just going to be loads and loads of fun. So you can enter either by putting your videos on the Facebook group, Uke Students Hangout, or you can, I've put a link to where you can post them in the forum. The reason I've done that is not everyone wants to post them publicly. Some people are a bit more shy. So if you want to send me a video subtly and you don't want everyone to look at it, you can just put a link on the forum and then it won't be all over Facebook. So it's up to you. You can go as crazy or as mad as you want. So yeah, go on, Rebecca, you can do it. You can do it. I would love that. That would be brilliant. Esther wants the map, thinks I'm amazing. Oh, I would have brought you over for all your help, Esther, but they were waiting for me upon my return. Do you remember I said when I was over that I had that package coming from Germany? That's what it was. It's the badges. I thought they'd been made in the UK, but they were made in Germany. So maybe I should have just got Indrani to post them over. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. You can put them on your uke straps. So the first one's up there already. So the next challenge, because it was sunny when I set it, it's not now. It's going to be songs of the summer. So I want you to come up with anything sunshine or summer related. So it could be a bit of Mungo Jerry, in the summertime, although that's not very PC, is it anymore, that song? It could be Here Comes the Sun, or it could just be you playing your ukulele sat in the sunshine. I don't know, if those of you that are over in Hawaii, we've got a few of you, you could just go in your backyard and you've got sunshine instantaneously, right? So anything sunshine related or sun related, post your videos on the Facebook group or on the forum, and then in 2 weeks' time, I'll pick a favourite and we'll send the badges out. And we're just going to keep this rolling. There'll be a gap in between of about a week whilst I judge, and to give you, so it's not like always ongoing. You've got a bit of a gap in between to think of your next one. And then I'll post my next challenge and we'll just keep them rolling like that. So I think it'll be loads and loads of fun. Thanks, Len. That's what I want. I want them to be like a badge of honour, like the old Blue Peter badges that we had over here in England. I never got one of those and I always needed one. So yeah. Thank you. Oh, ready, steady. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Love it, guys. Love it. Yeah, Esther and Karen, you get ones for being my helpers. So yeah, you could definitely have one next time I see you. Brilliant. Well, let us know if you've got any questions. I'll just hang on a couple more minutes and then I'll head off. As I say, thanks again for putting up with the challenges, with the technical challenges and everything tonight. But you made it back, which was totally amazing. So yeah. Oh, t-shirts would be a good idea as well. Yeah, I like that. I might try and get something done for the retreat. If I don't do, I'll stick something on the website. I won't do them for profit or anything. I'll just do them at cost because I think it's totally amazing that anyone would want to wear one of my t-shirts. I'd be chuffed that if you wore them. So there won't be a profit making exercise. It'd just be to share with you guys. Okay, guys. We will be back next Monday. We're back every Monday, back to normal now. And next week for the live lesson. So I shall see you then. Yukon, everyone. Have a whole heap of fun. Thanks for all your support and thanks for being amazing. It's been such a joy to get back into it. I said to Karen earlier, I was a bit nervous. It's been a week. I did a little bit of ukulele on the holiday, but not much, so I was a bit worried I'd forgotten how to play, but it was all fine, and I really love getting back into it with you guys, so that's been absolutely fantastic. Oh, Karen, Sandy still does that. Actually, not Sandy anymore because she's finished Girl Guides, but Bobby does it at Cubs. And every time he brings back a new badge, it strikes the fear of God into me because I'm useless at sewing. And I don't want to be that sexist person and ask Sharon to do it. So I do try and do it, but I'm not very good at it. All right, well, take care, everyone. Much love, and I shall see you very soon.